If you've been on the sim racing internet recently, you might have come across some claims that Assetto Corsa Competizione is dying or even completely dead in 2025. In this video, we're going to be investigating whether these claims have any credence. This will hopefully help new players decide whether to pick up the title and help existing players decide whether or not to keep playing or move on to other titles. The main indicator that ACC is dying seems to be that online multiplayer servers appear to be far less popular than they were in the game's heyday. On one hand, this would make sense. The game has been out for almost 7 years now and hasn't received a significant update with new content since last year. A successor, if you can call it that, in the form of AC Evo has also seen a version 0.3 early access release recently, albeit with some minor issues. However, on the other hand, there are still lots of great reasons to play ACC in 2025 and beyond. ACC is still one of the best looking and best sounding sims out there. Sorry iRacing fanboys, but ACC blows iRacing out of the water in terms of visuals and sound. The tracks and cars look absolutely stunning, especially during low sun and wet weather, and while some suggest that the game fails to capture the specific engine sounds of certain cars, the engine sounds echoing around the track, the brakes squealing, the buzzing over curbs makes for a very immersive experience. And of course, the most important aspect of any racing simulator is how it drives. There's often heated debates about which simulators are the most realistic and best emulate the physics of real-world driving. People's opinion on this are obviously subjective and are often influenced by many factors such as driving styles, which simulators people personally enjoy, as well as simple tribalism. I'm not a professional racing driver, at least not yet anyway, and have no real-life experience with any of the GT3 machinery in the game. However, I do find the physics in ACC more intuitive than iRacing, for example. Those dreaded uncatchable slides that GT cars and iRacing are susceptible to just don't seem to happen for me in ACC, and I can feel the tyres letting go more than in iRacing. On the driving side, the main criticisms seem to concern braking. The way to be fast under braking in this game is to mash the pedal with 100% pressure and let the ABS sort the rest out, which is not how real-life GT3 drivers do it. Overall, the physics have been praised by real-life racing drivers, some of whom have used it to prepare for real races, such as James Baldwin. The main thing holding back ACC back when it was launched, and still to this day, was, and is, the lack of ranked multiplayer mode, something that other sims such as iRacing and Le Mans Ultimate have out of the box. Even Gran Turismo 7, which most would consider a simcade title, has this feature. However, services such as SimGrid and Low Fuel Motorsport solve this problem, effectively providing ranked multiplayer mode via a third-party service. LFM even has its own license test players have to pass in order to race on the service. Of course, one of the main advantages of a service like this is the ability to hop on and race more or less whenever you feel like it. You can still find leagues for ancient games which have seemingly been dead for a long time. However, these would usually race at specific dates and times, which can be restrictive for those with busy schedules. And there's the issue. Are people ditching ACC's online services for other titles? Data suggests otherwise. According to SteamDB and Steam charts, ACC actually hit an all-time peak of over 12,200 concurrent players in April 2024, which was its best month ever. Even in 2025, the game consistently averages 2,000 to 2,500 concurrent players per month, with peaks regularly exceeding 5,000. That's a very healthy base for a niche sim racing title. In fact, ACC is still ranked in the top 20 racing games on Steam, outperforming many other sims that don't get the dead game criticism. Of course, this doesn't directly tell us how many players are actively participating in multiplayer, but we do know that there are still thousands racing via LFM. As of July 2025, the platform has over 250,000 registered users, and ACC remains by far the most active sim supported there. During European evening times, it is not uncommon to see 4 or 5 splits in the GT3 Sprint series alone. It's also worth noting that Konos themselves have publicly addressed these rumours of ACC dying. In mid-2025, they made it clear that we're not done with Competizione yet, showing that developer support hasn't completely vanished either. Now, there's also a new kid on the block in the realm of sports car racing sims. Le Mans Ultimate, in spite of a rocky start last year, has rapidly gained players and critical acclaim in recent months. There is definitely a perception among many online that the reason for declining ACC player counts is sports car fans making the switch over to Le Mans Ultimate. On paper this makes sense. Le Mans Ultimate offers more content than ACC, with mainstay GT3s alongside hypercars, LMP2s and GTEs. That variety appeals to a lot of players. Le Mans Ultimate also has a built-in ranked multiplayer mode, whereas ACC players rely on LFM, a third-party service, to get that experience. Overall though, while ACC may be entering what you could call its end-of-life phase, it doesn't look like it's going to disappear anytime soon. Its stable player base, strong community support through LFM, and official confirmation from Kunos that it's not done all suggests the opposite of a dead game. One of the main things pulling people away to Le Mans Ultimate or iRacing is the convenience of ranked multiplayer built into the game itself. And if you're wondering about value, ACC still goes on sale regularly on Steam, and given its visuals, audio, and the overall driving experience, it's absolutely worth the money even today. While its usable life as an online racing sim may eventually wind down, that day is still years away in my opinion. And even after that, the single player experience will remain a benchmark for immersion. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like and subscribing to my channel to see more sim racing content.